Every job exists until it does not. Technology changes. Society evolves. And suddenly, entire professions that employed thousands of people simply disappear. Norway is no exception. Over the past century, dozens of jobs that were once essential to Norwegian daily life have vanished completely. This video is about 10 jobs that no longer exist in Norway. Some were replaced by machines. Some became unnecessary. But all of them represent a way of life that has disappeared forever. Number 10. The lighthouse keeper. Furvokter. For centuries, lighthouse keepers were essential to Norwegian maritime safety. They maintained the lights that guided ships through Norway's treacherous coastline. They lived in isolation, often with their families, on remote rocky outcrops. The first Norwegian lighthouse was built in 1656 at Lindesnes. By the early 1900s, more than 200 staff lighthouses operated along the Norwegian coast. Each required a keeper who lived on site, maintained equipment, never went dark. Automation changed everything. Solar power, automated lighting systems, and remote monitoring made human keepers unnecessary. Today, only one lighthouse in Norway still has a keeper, also at Lindesnes, the first and now the last. An entire profession that defined coastal life for hundreds of years reduced to a single person. Number 9. The telephone switchboard operator. Telephonist. Before automated phone systems, every call required human intervention. Switchboard operators, usually women, sat at massive boards of cables and plugs. When you lifted your receiver, an operator answered. You told her the number. She physically connected your line to another line by plugging in cables. In Norway, Televerket employed thousands of these operators. The job required excellent hearing, patience, and the ability to handle demanding callers. Operators often knew everyone in small towns and could connect you by name rather than number. The last switchboard operators in Norway worked until the 1980s when digital automatic switching made them obsolete. Their voices, saying the number you requested, became memories. Number 8. The video store clerk. In the 1990s, Norway had up to 3,500 video stores. Video Nova was the dominant chain. Every town had at least one location where you could browse shelves of VHS tapes and later DVDs. The video store clerk knew everything. They could recommend films based on your taste. They could tell you what was popular. They enforced the rewind rule and track your late fees. Pal Granlund founded Video Nova in 1982. At their peak, his stores needed 3 or 4 employees working constantly. Netflix, streaming, and digital downloads destroyed the industry within a decade. The last Video Nova in Oslo closed in 2016. The entire profession of video store clerk disappeared almost overnight. If you are enjoying this look at Norway's lost professions, hit that subscribe button. We explore Norwegian history every week. Number 7. The milkman. Milkman. Every morning, before dawn, the milkman made his rounds. He delivered glass bottles of fresh milk directly to Norwegian homes, taking empty bottles away for reuse. Before reliable refrigeration, daily milk delivery was essential because milk spoiled quickly. The milkman knew every family on his route. Children waited for him. Housewives planned their mornings around his arrival. The job required early starts, physical strength, and reliability in all weather conditions. Supermarkets and home refrigeration killed the milkman. By the 1970s, most Norwegian families bought milk at stores instead of waiting for delivery. Today, the sight of a milk truck making residential rounds exists only in old photographs and memories. Number 6. The elevator operator. Heis operator. Before automatic elevators, operating a lift required training and skill. Elevator operators controlled the speed, direction, and stopping points manually. They announced floors. They opened and closed doors by hand. They ensured passengers exited safely. Norwegian department stores, hotels, and office buildings employed elevator operators through the 1950s and 60s. They wore uniforms. They represented the businesses they served. The job required poise, patience, and excellent customer service. Automatic elevators with push buttons replaced them entirely. By the 1970s, the elevator operator had vanished from Norwegian buildings. Today, we push buttons without thinking about the person who once did that job for us. Number 5. The telegram delivery boy. Telegram bud. Before telephones reached every home, telegrams provided fast, long-distance communication. You would go to the telegraph office, write your message, and pay per word. The telegraph operator translated your words into Morse code and transmitted them. On the receiving end, another operator decoded the message and wrote it down. Then came the telegram delivery boy, usually a young man on a bicycle. He would rush your message to the recipient's door. Telegram boys were vital for urgent news, birth announcements, death notifications, and business communications. The telephone made telegrams less necessary. Email made them extinct. The last telegram service in Norway ended decades ago. The profession of telegram delivery, once a path to adult employment for Norwegian teenagers, no longer exists. Number 4. The bus conductor. Conductor. Norwegian buses once had 2 employees, the driver and conductor. The conductor collected fares, issued tickets, helped passengers with luggage, announced stops, and maintained order. They moved through the bus constantly, chatting with regular passengers, keeping the atmosphere calm. The conductor represented human connection on public transit. One-person to one-person transactions. Personal service. Knowledge of routes and destinations. Exact change in printed tickets. Self-service ticketing, electronic payment, and app-based fares eliminated the conductor position. Today, Norwegian buses have only drivers. The conductor, once present on every route, exists only in the memories of older passengers. Number 3. The lamplighter. Lichtenner. Before electric streetlights, cities relied on gas lamps. Every evening, the lamplighter walked a specific route, carrying a long pole with a flame. He lit each lamp every morning. He returned to extinguish them. The job required reliability, all-weather endurance, and knowledge of every corner of the assigned area. Norwegian cities maintained lamplighters through the late 1800s and into the early 1900s. Electric lighting arrived gradually, neighborhood by neighborhood. As electric lights replaced gas, lamplighters lost their routes. The profession disappeared entirely by the mid-20th century. Today, streetlights turn on automatically, controlled by timers or light sensors, with no human involvement. Drop a comment below. Did your grandparents work any of these jobs? We want to hear your stories. Number 2. The ice cutter. Isperter. Before electric refrigeration, ice was essential for preserving food. Ice cutters harvested large blocks of ice from frozen lakes and rivers during Norwegian winters. The work was dangerous. Men walked on ice that could break, using saws and axes to cut perfectly sized blocks. The ice was then stored in insulated ice houses, packed in sawdust, and sold throughout the year for use in ice boxes. Norwegian households depended on ice cutters to keep food fresh during warmer months. The invention of the electric refrigerator made ice cutting unnecessary. By the 1950s, most Norwegian homes had refrigerators. The ancient profession of ice harvesting, which required strength, skill, and courage, disappeared within a generation. Number 1. The log driver. Tommerfloater. This was one of Norway's most iconic and dangerous professions. For centuries, Norway transported timber by floating logs down rivers. Log drivers, called Tommerfloater, worked these rivers, guiding logs towards sawmills. They walked on floating logs, using long poles to keep the timber moving and prevent jams. The work required incredible balance, strength, and courage. Log drivers often fell into freezing water. Some died. The profession was romanticized in Norwegian culture, celebrated in songs and stories. By the 1970s, trucks replaced rivers as the primary method of transporting timber. The log drivers, who had defined Norwegian forestry for centuries, found themselves without work. Today, log driving is a historical demonstration rather than a living profession. These 10 jobs share a common story. Each was essential to Norwegian life. Each employed thousands of people across the country. Each provided income, identity, and community connection. And each disappeared completely, replaced by technology, changing needs, or new methods. The people who worked these jobs adapted. Their children pursued different careers. But something was lost when these professions vanished, a direct human connection that machines and automation cannot replicate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video about Norway's lost professions, hit the like button. Subscribe to Norway Nostalgia for more explorations of Norwegian history and culture. And leave a comment if your family had connections to any of these disappeared jobs. Ha det bra!